Eternal God, may our hearts sleep and our minds rejoice at the coming of this great day. Open us to the joy of this moment, Holy God. Remind us of how far these graduates have come. Help us to see, know, and feel and hear the presence of family, friends, and loved ones gathered. And awaken us to gratitude, because the exams have all been taken. The grades have all been turned in, and the degrees are ready to be conferred. Mark this moment, Holy God, with a depth of meaning that matches the hard work these graduates have put in, and bless this ceremony, that it may be a memorable sending worthy of the journey itself. Amen.
Oh, it's going to be that kind of crowd today, huh? Please be seated. Thank you, Reverend Ott, for your invocation. And thanks also to the Monmouth College Chorale for that beautiful rendition of our alma mater. Good afternoon to all of you on this day of celebration. We are delighted that you can be with us as we participate in the 161st commencement exercises of Monmouth College. I would like to introduce our special platform guests. On my far left is the Reverend Dr. Teri McDowell Ott, College Chaplain. To Reverend Ott's right is Miss Deanna Rubi, the Lincoln Laureate for the class of 2018. On my immediate left is Dr. David Timmerman, Dean of the Faculty. To his right is our honored guest and commencement speaker, Ms. Jin Lee. To her right, Mr. Mark Kopinski, Chair of the Monmouth College Board of Trustees. I want to take a moment right now to thank Mark and his wife, Debbie, whose friendship with Ms. Lee has made her being with us today possible. To his right, Ms. Christy Hempen, the Registrar of the College. I now want to recognize the members of the college's Board of Trustees who are in attendance today. These dedicated men and women, many of them alumni of the college, provide critical leadership for this institution. I hope that some of today's graduates have service as trustees of Monmouth College among their ambitions. Would members of the Board of Trustees please stand and be recognized? I would also like to recognize the members of our college alumni board who are in attendance today. These individuals serve as a great source of ideas and a sounding board for initiatives at the college. I want to especially thank Ms. Mary Corrigan, the president of the alumni board, and ask that all members of the alumni board with us today please stand and be thanked. I extend a warm greeting to the Monmouth College faculty and staff. At Monmouth College, no matter what our other titles may be, we are all educators, committed to the guided growth of young people. Through their dedication and passion, these people have helped our students to free the possibilities inherent in them. Would all of you please stand and be recognized? As I am thanking our faculty and staff, I want to express special appreciation to those whose work makes this commencement weekend so special. Our faculty marshals, Professors Marjorie Bond, Stacy Lotes, Tom Sargent, and Sean Shum, our facility staff led by Ms. Sarah Young, and Ms. Karen Ogerzalek, who coordinates all of the weekend celebrations so well. Would you please stand and let us thank you? I also want to recognize and thank my wife, Lobie Stone, for all that she does on behalf of the college and its students, and especially for freeing whatever possibilities may reside in me. Next, a special welcome to the very important people for whom today represents the culmination of 4 years of dedication, study, hard work, and the beginning of new exciting chapters in their sagas. Members of the class of 2018, please stand and let us thank you. As I am thinking, as we are recognizing the class of 2018, perhaps we should also thank and recognize Scotty the Unicorn, who is looking down on us from the cupola above. You know who you are out there. Finally, a warm welcome to the mothers, and today, especially the moms and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, sons and daughters, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and friends of our 2018 graduates who are here today to celebrate this special event with them and with us. We welcome all of you, and we thank you for being here to celebrate the achievements of the class of 2018. May I ask all the family and friends of our graduates to please stand. On this occasion, I have the honor of announcing this year's faculty promotions, which were recently approved by the Monmouth College Board of Trustees. Please stand and let us recognize you as I call your names. Julie Rothbart, Department of Political Economy and Commerce, is granted a tenured position and is promoted from assistant professor to associate professor. Robert Simmons, Department of Classics, is granted a tenured position and is promoted from assistant professor to associate professor. David Wright, Department of English, is granted a tenured position and is promoted from assistant professor to associate professor. Audra Sestorish, Department of Chemistry, is promoted from associate professor to full professor. Michael Sestorish, Department of Mathematics and Computer Science, is promoted from associate professor to full professor. The thread that runs true through the history of Monmouth College is our dedicated faculty and staff. This year, we celebrate the service of 2 members of our faculty and 3 members of the staff. The 2 faculty members are Marta Tucker, Professor of Mathematics and Computer Science, and Rick Sayre, Director of Hughes Library, both of whom will officially retire this August after 35 years and 20 years of service, respectively. During that time, and still, they have embodied the best of Monmouth College. I ask that Marta and Rick please stand and accept our appreciation. We also celebrate the retirement of 3 exceptional staff members. Mary Phillips, who served as the curator of the college's art collections for 20 years, Roger Sander, who served the athletic program in a variety of capacities, including head baseball coach for 34 years, and Rhonda Spence, who has worked and served in the Wackerly Center for Career and Leadership for 20 years. Let us thank all 3 of these folks. As your program indicates, there will be 2 addresses this afternoon. And the first one will be presented by our student laureate from the Lincoln Academy of Illinois, Ms. Deanna Rubi. Unique among the 50 states, the Academy was established to honor Illinois' most distinguished citizens with the state's highest award, the Order of Lincoln. Each year, an outstanding senior who exhibits overall excellence in curricular and extracurricular programs is selected from each of the 4-year degree-granting institutions of higher learning in Illinois. Deanna Rubi has indeed exhibited such excellence as a leader in all aspects of campus life and as an example of character and compassion. I now invite Ms. Rubi to deliver her commencement address.
Thank you, President Wyatt. So good morning, everyone. We're here to celebrate the beginning of a new chapter of the 2018 graduates of Monmouth College. It is truly an honor to be standing in front of you all for such a special occasion. Thank you to all the family and friends here celebrating with us. I know many have traveled long distances, like my family from Mexico. Saludos, tío Antonio y tía Reina. Thank you to all the faculty and staff who mentored us throughout our 4 years. And a special thank you for those who challenged me to grow, especially those who impacted me the most, my advisor, Amy DeFarias, Professor Jessica Vivian, and my dearest Teri. Not only are we here celebrating a new chapter for the class of 2018, but we also get to celebrate Mother's Day together. I want to wish a happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Happy Mother's Day to you, whether by birth or through the equally loving act of adopting. But I specifically want to remember the moms who could not be here today. I know there are a few graduates who have had to struggle through the death or deportation of their mothers in these last 4 years. They are remembered and honored today. I want to especially honor the woman who raised me with love and courage. She taught me that the things worth doing aren't always the easiest. She showed me how to work hard, follow my passion, and live fearlessly. Beatriz Galindo, mami querida, esto es para ti. This is for you. I am a first-generation college student who migrated to the U.S. as an unauthorized person full of hopes, dreams, and faith. I always say that my mother gave me life twice, once at birth and the second time when we migrated to the U.S. Mothers who have migrated with their children with nothing but faith are the strongest people on this earth. Son luchadoras. They are warriors. With real grit, passion, and determination, these are the things my mom has taught me. First, we have to start with ponte las pilas. The literal translation is put on your batteries. But what it actually means is to get your act together and get moving. I can't fully express how much this has helped me keep going during sophomore slump, during those all-nighters, during those times I felt I was just too overwhelmed. All I needed to remind myself was ponte las pilas, and I could keep going. This saying is applicable for all occasions, so remember it and live by it. Next is a saying that I learned at a really young age. Nadie puede quitarte lo que aprendes. I memorized this when I was in elementary school, and it has made me so passionate about learning. It means that nobody can take away your knowledge. Learn as much as you can. Education is the key to liberation. Ask all of your questions. Answer questions and be wrong. Research more, read more, and learn about other worldly experiences. All of these things will help you grow. At the end of the day, material wealth will not measure your true richness. Your knowledge about life will set you free to accomplish things you've dreamed about. Another important one is échale ganas, AKA do it like you mean it. In everything you do, put in your best effort. Of course, there will be times when you don't have a lot of energy, but when you give your work your best effort, you will feel a sense of accomplishment that will push you to do more. There's no point in doing sloppy or incomplete work. You'll just have to redo it and work twice as much than if you had just done it right the first time. Whether you're going on to grad school, starting your career, or taking a gap year, anything you're involved in, do it like you mean it. Échale ganas, my friends. The fourth lesson is saluda bien. This one is really important. It means to greet people correctly. Acknowledging other people's presence in this world will take you so far. You'll learn about other stories and experiences that can amaze and inspire you on your journey. I know our moms taught us not to talk to strangers when we were younger, but as adults, if you give a stranger a warm smile and say hello, you can meet a lot of fascinating people. Always acknowledge other people, value people for being people, celebrate their humanity. If you learn how to talk to anyone and everyone, I'll promise you'll learn so much. Finally, the last lesson I want to share is haz bien sin mirar a quién. The translation means be good to people regardless of who they are. There are many tragic things happening in the US and around the world. It's easy to feel helpless. But there's always good you can do in this world. That could be volunteering in your community, listening to other people's struggles, or being genuinely interested in other people's passions. This is important even for people you felt have wronged you. Practice forgiveness and compassion. We are here to serve more than just ourselves. Give back in any way possible to your community and other communities. The rewards of serving others are much larger than those of just serving yourself. Just do good things. Standing before you all today as an accomplished young Latina, I feel as if it was only right to share my mother's wisdom that pushed me every day to get up and flourish. I hope some of these lessons will speak wisdom into your life as well. Again, congratulations on this accomplishment. I hope that you continue to be fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. To my 2018 grads, yes we can and yes we did. Para mi mamá, mi papá y mi hermana Susi, sí se puede y sí se pudo. Gracias.
Thank you, Deanna. I invite Miss Jin Lee to please come forward and stand to my right. President Wyatt, it is my distinct privilege and high honor to present Jin Lee for the honorary degree Doctor of Humane Letters. Throughout her life, and most especially in her career as an author, Miss Lee has exemplified the highest values of the liberal arts and sciences. Miss Lee earned her bachelor's degree in history from Yale University and her JD degree from the Georgetown University Law Center. After working for several years as a corporate attorney, Miss Lee followed her true calling, writing. She has written nonfiction articles and essays for a distinguished list of publications, including the Times of London, the New York Times Magazine, and the Wall Street Journal. She has also published award-winning works of short fiction, such as Axis of Happiness and Motherland. It is, however, Miss Lee's two novels that have garnered the greatest accolades. Her first novel, 2007's Free Food for Millionaires, was named the top 10 novel of the year by the Times of London, the New York Times, USA Today, and National Public Radio. Her second novel, Pachinko, published in 2017, an epic story of the triumphs and tragedies of multiple generations of a Korean family in Korea and Japan, was named a finalist for the National Book Award this past year, among many other honors. Her work has been further recognized by her being named a 2018 Guggenheim Fellow for Fiction and a Fellow at the Radcliffe Institute for Advanced Studies at Harvard for 2018-2019, where she will be researching and writing her third novel, American Hagwon. For her profound and graceful evocation of the human experience, for her commitment to the beauty of the written word, and for her belief in our common humanity, I am pleased to present Jin Lee for the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters.
Jin Lee, whereas you have demonstrated in your work and life a deep belief in the power of the human spirit, and whereas your mastery of the written word has opened new paths of exploration and connection for us all, and whereas the characters you have created become real in our hearts and minds, sharing with us their love, their loss, their determination, and their triumph. And whereas your work leads us from knowledge to wisdom, and from wisdom to grace, in the truest spirit of the liberating power of the liberal arts and sciences, be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Monmouth College, with charter trustees and trustees in board assembled, that Min Jin Lee is awarded the honorary degree, Doctor of Humane Letters, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining. It is my honor to present you with this diploma, and I ask that you be invested with the appropriate hood.
I think if Dean Timmerman had gone on, I would become insufferable. I was just thinking, he can't be serious. Class of 2018, congratulations. Graduation looks good on you. I am so deeply honored to be here. Thank you for sharing this day with me. Thank you, President Wyatt, the Board of Trustees, and a special shout out to my friend Mark Kapinski, class of 1979, who serves as a chairman of the Board of Trustees. Wherever Mark goes, he is characterized by his hard work, his humility, and his kindness. And he does great credit to Monmouth. Thank you, Mark. Thank you to the faculty and the administration that has sacrificed valiantly to support the class of 2018. Each generation pulls up the next, and I want to commend you all for raising up these very fine young women and men. And above all, thank you to the family members who are here. And let us remember and keep in our heart all those who could not be here today. And happy Mother's Day. I want to honor the parents, the grandparents, the brothers and sisters, the aunts and the uncles, and the friends who have made today possible. Because if there's one thing that is clear about making it out of college, is that no one does this alone. We needed each other then to get to this point, and we will need each other every day from this moment onward. To create the victory of one fighting Scot, we needed the love and support of many strong teammates. And I want to recognize you for your work, your sacrifice, and your faith. Class of 2018, please give a round of applause to those who have supported you and loved you. I have been thinking a lot about the Fighting Scots. I have been studying your gang colors, your fight song, and if I had enough time, I would have learned how to play the bagpipes. But I didn't. But as I was preparing this speech, I wore plaid, and I ate a box of Scottish shortbread. I have also looked into this past weekend, and here are the stats. So let's congratulate seniors Dan Evers, first in pole vault and first in long jump. Maddie Schulenberg, first in javelin, and Joanna Podizek, first in mile, and Lily Mendez, first place in shot put. And let me also acknowledge junior John Hintz, who have just set the new Fighting Scots record to win the hammer throw, and he took first in discus. Nice work. For any juniors who might live near John Hintz next year, when he's throwing things, heads up. So in honor of these seniors who worked very hard this past weekend, roll Scots. As you may know, this month is Asian Pacific American History Month. It's my month. So with all powers vested in me, fiction writers actually have no powers, but I can make them up. I have decided to give up one of my days this month to celebrate the Fighting Scots heritage. Now, and since I cannot speak intelligently about my shallow, non-existent Scottish heritage, I have no roots from Scotland, in case you were wondering. I thought today that I would fiocus on the fighting part about the Fighting Scots, because I do have a heritage as a fighter. My first fist fight took place in Queens, New York, where I grew up. My parents and two sisters and I moved to America in 1976 when I was 7. And I entered 2nd grade, and I did not speak any English. I also had a speaking problem, so I didn't actually talk very much until I was in middle school. I was pathologically quiet, which is an advantage if you do not want to get noticed. But my problem is that I was weirdly tall for a girl, and everyone noticed me because I was too big. I was also nearsighted, but my parents hadn't taken me to the eye doctor, so I squinted all the time. And to top it off, we didn't have any money. So I wore hand-me-downs from my cousin Grace, who had zero fashion sense. I was foreign, I was mute, I was squinty and poorly dressed. I was a 7-year-old social disaster. That said, I was not an unhappy child. In fact, I was self-contained because I had my parents, and I had my 2 sisters and all the free library books a kid could want. And the only thing I had to do every day was just to make it through school without anything bad happening. And the classes were fine, although I had no idea what anyone was saying. And the teachers were perfectly helpful. And above all, I qualified for free lunch. So every now and then, I was able to enjoy this indigenous American culinary snack called tater tots. It is my firm belief that if we could share tater tots with the world, things might get better. Syria, Afghanistan, North Korea, tater tots. So PS 102 was no picnic, and I had no friends, but I had tater tots, free books, and on Fridays, I could have a half pint of chocolate milk. Life is not terrible if you have good routines. What made life a little bit tougher were elementary school girls. To me, they were an enigma wrapped in a puzzle, stashed in a paradox. I had no idea what these girls wanted. And one day, a girl named Geraldine, who was in the 4th grade, who was even taller than me, decided that she wanted to fight me. She was really pretty, and she had long, wavy hair, and she was slender like a colt. It's not clear what made Geraldine hate my guts, but she did. And I learned during lunch period that I had to meet her after school because she was going to fight me. And another Korean kid who was not my friend was nice enough to translate the message that I would have my ass kicked after school. I knew I had to show up, but I didn't know how to fight. So after school, I marched to the schoolyard and I prepared to die. And I remember wearing a mustard yellow turtleneck that my cousin Grace must have worn and discarded because, frankly, no one looks good in mustard yellow. And instead of a coat, I had on a fringed fuchsia poncho, which we found in the bottom of the hand-me-down bag, but something that neither of my sisters would wear because they have self-respect. Now, when I got to the schoolyard, it was sunny and clear because sometimes the weather does not match our sad little moods. And I waited for Geraldine to come and pound me. She showed up. And she pushed me on the shoulder. And I swayed, but I stood my ground. But I did not fight back. And I didn't cry. I stared at the black asphalt, covering the ground, hoping for some invisible hatch to open up so I could escape. But nothing. And kids started to crowd around me. Then out of nowhere, my older sister Myung appeared. And I didn't even know she knew about the fight, but she did. She was in the 4th grade, and she came and stood right between Geraldine and me. She didn't speak English either, but it didn't matter. My sister was 100 times tougher than me, and everyone knew that if the two of them had gotten into a fight, my sister would flatten her in a hot minute. Geraldine left. My older sister didn't have much time for me when I was growing up. I was kind of embarrassing. You know, the yellow turtleneck, the constant squinting, the poncho. But when I needed her, she was there. And as we walked home, she said to me, "If Geraldine had been in the 2nd grade like you, I wouldn't have come to fight, because then it wouldn't be fair. But since Geraldine was older, I had a right to come." So she explained to me the rules of fighting. And it turned out there were rules in the schoolyard jungle. So now you know. I'm not Scottish, and I'm not much of a fighter. But since the 2nd grade, I have learned a lot about other kinds of fighting. And I want to share with you about how to fight for the life that you want. I turned 50 this year. I know it's hard to believe. So, thank you. Happy Mother's Day. So over 3 decades ago, when I was in high school, 2 things happened to me. First, I fell in love with the novels by Sinclair Lewis, who wrote Main Street, Aerosmith, Babbitt, and It Can't Happen Here. And second, I donated blood to the American Red Cross, and I learned that I was a chronic hepatitis B carrier. And consequently, as a girl, I learned 2 things about me. 1, I was developing superb taste in fiction. And 2, I carried an illness in my body, a disease communicable through blood, sex, and childbirth. So, about Sinclair Lewis. He was born in Minnesota, and he was a doctor's 3rd son. He was tall and skinny, and he had suffered from terrible acne. He was awkward, and he had no friends. So, of course, I identified with this man, and I wanted to go to Yale College because he wanted to go there. And somehow I got in. And I know this sounds really crazy, but I'm a writer, so when I got there, I sort of expected him to be there. But he had graduated in 1908. Anyway, I loved fiction so much that I chose a college based on a writer whose work that I had admired. However, I knew I should major in economics because this seemed like a sensible thing to do when you grow up in Elmhurst, Queens, and your parents work almost every day in an underheated little shop. And when you went to the bathroom in the basement, there were enormous rats. And if you jumped up to scare them, they would stare at you without budging, so you would have to wait until they were done. So I decided that I would choose the path of money, power, and social prestige. And in my freshman year, I signed up for macroeconomics. But within a week, I learned that I don't know how to read graphs or charts. I knew I couldn't be an English major because the girls who were English majors had fantastic hair and really long eyelashes and splendid clothes. So I was out. It did not occur to me that I could ever be a writer. And why is that? Because in my mind, people like Sinclair Lewis were writers, not people like me. I decided to major in history. And as I mentioned, I knew that I was a hepatitis B chronic carrier, but in high school I was asymptomatic. But in college, I got really sick. And my parents were working, so I went to Yale New Haven Hospital by myself. And my doctor, Dr. Adrian Rubin, said to me that it was very likely that I would get liver cancer in my 20s or in my 30s. And I decided at that moment that I had to be very careful with my time. I did not do well in college. I dated the wrong guys. I took the wrong classes. I was lost. And the only thing that I did regularly was to go to church every Sunday. And I think I might have been the only undergraduate to go to church on Sundays because I never saw anyone I knew there. And the university chaplain felt sorry for me. And during my junior year, he asked me if I could attend a lecture that he was organizing. And I didn't know how to say no. So I went, and there were 2 kids. The lecture featured an American missionary who served the Korean Japanese population in Osaka, Japan. And he talked about the very tragic history of the Koreans in Japan, who had been very badly mistreated for several generations. And he told a story about a 13-year-old Korean Japanese boy who climbed up to his apartment building and he jumped off to his death. And his parents, also Korean, also born in Japan, were devastated. When they went through his things, they found his middle school yearbook. And in the middle school yearbook, his Japanese classmates had written, "Go back to where you belong. I hate you. You smell like garlic." And they wrote the words, "Die, die, die." This story burned into my brain. I could not believe that ordinary children could hate other children so intensely based on one's ethnicity, an immutable characteristic that this child had no power to change. I graduated as a history major, and then I went to law school because I am an immigrant, and I got married. Finally, I had beautiful clothes, and I worked in a gorgeous office where everything smelled clean all the time, and the bathrooms were spotless, and paper towel dispensers were always well stocked. I practiced for 2 years, and I was a very good lawyer because I'm incredibly neurotic. Then 1 month, I billed 300 hours. And if you're an honest person, that means you're in the office for 350 hours in a month. And I told my managing partner that I quit. I could not do it anymore. And if I had not known about my illness, I don't think I would have had the courage to quit. My husband and I had $15,000 saved, and I thought that would last forever. Isn't that adorable? I figured surely it could not be so difficult to write and publish a book and replace my income of $83,000 a year. Tells you how valuable that Yale degree is. In 1995, I wrote a book right after I quit being a lawyer, and it was titled Revival of the Senses, and it was even more pretentious than the title. And the very best publishers in New York said, no, thank you. There wasn't a single encouraging word about my writing in the pile of letters, all of them written on beautiful, creamy paper. So I started another book. And from 1996 to 2003, I worked on a novel called Motherland. And it was about the Korean Japanese people that I had heard about in college. And when I finished the book, I read it, and I realized that it was awful. So I didn't send it out. I was terribly discouraged, and I just didn't know how to fight anymore. I was also very ill. After I had my son in 1998, I suffered from all these joint problems. I couldn't open doorknobs, I had trouble walking up and down stairs, and my wrists hurt all the time, and I was always tired. And it turned out that I had liver cirrhosis. And my son was in preschool then. So my doctor, Dr. Magun, said I should try an experimental drug called interferon B. And I did. And for 6 months, I gave myself a shot every day. And I felt sicker from the drug than from the symptoms of liver cirrhosis. I lost my hair, blood vessels broke in my face every time I bent down to pick up an item from the floor. I vomited all the time, and I had such terrible diarrhea that I could not leave my house. But the drugs worked, and I was cured. And my doctor, a man who wears bow ties, and who was deadly skeptical of everything, said it was a miracle. From 1995 to the year that I quit being a lawyer, till 2003, I took inexpensive writing classes for 1 evening a week in community centers. I sent stories and essays out, but nearly everything was rejected. I have a 3-inch ring binder filled with rejections. And I thought about bringing the binder today to show you, but I didn't want to check in an extra bag. However, I remained an excellent reader. So I kept reading. And I read V.S. Naipaul's A House for Mr. Biswas. And it moved me to weep on the subway when the book ended. And it occurred to me then that I had already failed for such a long time, but I still wanted to write something worthwhile. And even if no one cared, and even if I was not talented, it was within my power to write about the people who fascinated me. And I wanted to write about the ordinary people in my neighborhood in Elmhurst, Queens, filled with bus drivers, plumbers, church organists, house cleaners, and people who worked for other people. So I wrote my novel, Free Food for Millionaires, because I wanted to write about money and class and ambition and how conventional ideas of such things may not hold up for those who are plain and unimportant. I published that book in 2007, and then my husband got a job in Japan, and we needed the money. And I didn't want to go live in Japan. It's a beautiful country. You should all visit. The food is better than France. French people say this. However, I didn't want to move. But I was pretty sure I could not get another husband. So I went. In Japan, I decided to return to my second novel, Motherland. And I went to Osaka and I did field work. And I met Korean Japanese people and I interviewed them. And I realized that I had been wrong about everything. The Korean Japanese had suffered institutional discrimination, and they had been deprived of basic human rights. However, they did not see themselves as victims. And they told me that they were just ordinary people, and they wanted to have normal lives, and they wanted to be treated fairly. My subjects insisted on determining themselves rather than being defined by those in power. And this made a very strong impression on me. So I threw out the first version of the book and I started all over again about one ordinary Korean family in Japan, and that book is called Pachinko. In 23 years, I have published only 2 novels. I have failed for far more many years than I have succeeded, if I have succeeded at all. I was rejected this past year for 2 teaching positions, 1 editor position, and 4 fellowships. And as you may know, I was a National Book Award finalist, but what you may not know is they announced the winners on the night of the awards. So that night, I got my hair done. I put on my best dress, and I had asked my parents, my sisters, my in-laws, my nieces, my nephew, my husband, and my son to attend. And dear Scots, I lost. I fought and I fought, but I lost. But here's the thing I want you to know. I had wanted to win. I have not wanted that many things. But if I cared about something, I was willing to fight for it. And even when it seemed impossible, I had tried to fight. But often, very often, I lost. Maybe you have been afraid to fight. Maybe you may have wanted to win, but thought a person like you could never do so. Maybe you have lost too many times, so why would you try again? Maybe you have been ashamed of wanting to win. Maybe you thought nice people didn't care about such things. Maybe you thought you weren't born a winner. Maybe you feel dull around those who are close to you, who are nothing short of dazzling. I know how you feel. I am terrified right this second. I am. But I want to fight for you and for me. Because I want you to know that it is worse not to fight at all. You might get pounded. You might. But please show up. Class of 2018, I have been to college. I remember. I imagine that not every day of your college life has gone well. You may have slept through a few classes. You may have played Fortnite rather than attend section. You may have hooked up with the wrong person, or more than one wrong person. You may not have gotten into the sorority that you wanted. And you may have lost a championship game that you had desperately wanted to win. And you may have lost other things that you thought were important. But that's good, because now you know more about yourself. You have earned the very hard lessons that are important about your values, your priorities, and what's important and what is not. And these things that you have done and these things you have left undone will teach you more about who you are and what you want. These were hard-won lessons, tools to discern what is important over the urgent, And I hope that you will store these lessons as carefully as your diploma. So class of 2018, I know that you have quests that you want to pursue, and there will be battles along the way. And you may want to know how. How will I keep fighting when I don't know if I have what it takes? How will I keep fighting when I am afraid? And how will I fight when I am alone? Well, this is where I tell you about your superpowers. I'm not sure if you knew you had these things, but you do. You use them all the time. Perhaps you have a fraternity brother, and when your fraternity brother messes up his midterm and tells you that he's afraid of flunking out, why do you stay up with him all night so he can finish his paper? And when your sister calls you crying because her best friend has stopped speaking to her, why do you stop everything to listen? Even when you have to go to bed early because you have an important job interview the next day. And when your mom and dad call you to tell you that they're getting divorced, why do you tell them that you understand, even though you don't really understand how two people can fall out of love? And if you are an athlete, how did you go to practice when everyone else was at the beach? How do you do all these things? Well, it's because you have a superpower. You know how to love when you don't think you have anything left. You know how to love when you are tired, when it's difficult, and when there is no time. This thing called love, which requires attention and sacrifice and real time, is something that we do for our vocation, for our families, our friends, without whom our lives would not lack power, they would lack purpose. We keep fighting for what we love because we have the power to love. We're not just fighting, we are fighting for something. We are fighting for someone. We are fighting for our ability to keep loving. We are fighting for our purpose, and this purpose gives us great power. We are powerful, so very powerful, when we remember that the parts of our lives that we love the most can be almost impossible to bear every day. Class of 2018, you are powerful. You are the Fighting Scots, and I know that you will fight very hard for the things that you love. And if you keep showing up, you will be victorious. Congratulations.
For 161 years, Monmouth College has followed the tradition of using Latin to confer the baccalaureate degree. We invite you to follow the English translation printed in the commencement program as we begin the presentation and conferral of degrees for the Monmouth College class of 2018. Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts please rise? Tibi praesidii collegii Monmouthiensis hus venenes ud ad gradum artium baccalaureae admontantur offero.
In nomine Dei, Amen. Auctoritate nobis, a Republica Illinoisensi, commissa et consuetudine vedere, nos professores collegii Monmouthiensis, vos ad gradum artium baccalaureae admittimus.
This is the 2018 graduating class of Monmouth College. Congratulations. You may now move your tassels from the right to the left. Please be seated. As we send this class of graduates out into the world, we also rejoice that the world is increasingly coming to us. We are pleased that exchange students from 2 countries were able to join us today. I would ask the following students to stand. From Costa Rica, Leonardo Chinchilla Mora. And from the United Kingdom, Hannah Sharp. Please join me in welcoming these students. At this time, we invite the graduates to come forward as their names are called to be awarded their diplomas. I ask the audience to hold applause until all students receive their diplomas. Jutoria M. Aaron. Iman Abdul Razak. Javier Ignacio Abrego, Jr. Anthony Adams. Kayla Janelle Adams. Moses Adefentalua Akinbaro. Ana B. Alcala. Randall Aldridge II. Samer Aljundi. Noor Alush, cum laude. Justin O. Aluya. Brody Michael Anderson. Leslie Grace Apple. Jasmine Arias. Amadeo Kane Arroyo. Obaya B. Etuahene, cum laude. Bailey L. Austin. Antonetta Arlene Axup. Michaela D. Baker. Abigail Rose Baldacchi. Victoria Bance. Jacqueline Banda. Jasmine Barajas Olvera. Melissa Ashley Barrios. Tessa Rain Jonelle Berry. Kirsty Elise Barton. Angela Hope Bowman, magna cum laude. Victoria C. Beaver. Tori Lynn Beam, cum laude. Brittany D. Bender. Samantha A. Bergstrand. Cameron August Boley. Brittany Marie Book, cum laude. Brenna Marielle Bowers. Joseph R. Boyd, cum laude. Julius Vidal Bradfield. Doris Chantel Brooks, cum laude. Devin Lee Brooks. Anthony David Bryant. Thomas R. Burkhead, cum laude. Kelsey Lee Marie Burkholder. Nicholas Calloway. Kamari Lachi Campbell. Thomas John Cangelosi, cum laude. Vicky Coe. Ashley A. Carnes. Alexis May Shalata. Tiana Cintron. Caitlin Joe Cole. Maria Tiana Cole. Mariah Tiana Cole. Sierra Lachey Coleman. Callie Ray Cook, summa cum laude. Jordan Papo Cortez. Brady Lee Crane. Corindia L. Crawford. Thelma Cruz. Natalie Anna Curtis. Ryan Michael Dom. Brody Matthew Davis. Mackenzie Elizabeth Davis. Catherine R. Day. Saxon T. Day, summa cum laude. Angelica Tatiana de Luna. Stephanie M. Diener, magna cum laude. Tristan A. DeMott. Olivia Elizabeth Diaz. Carrie June Dodson, cum laude. Madeline M. Dolman, cum laude. Celeste S. Dominguez, magna cum laude. Madison Doss. Nathaniel W. Duffy. Samuel Elliott Dummer, cum laude. Scott J. Dykstra. Sarah Margaret Ellis, magna cum laude. Paul Ango III. Dan S. Evers. Kelsey Ann Foss, magna cum laude. Sarah Charlene Fouts. Dustin J. Frank. Emma Jean Garin. Kelsey Murphy Gaylord. Vaughn R. Gensler. Kylie Joanna Gearhart. Michael Edward Gertz. Carly Jean Ganay. Jonathan Wesley Grant. Ronald Preston Griffin. Antoinette Grizel. Cheyenne Grote. Maria Liliana Guillen, magna cum laude. Rebecca Elizabeth Ganay, cum laude. Michaela Elsie Guthrie, cum laude. Ethan James Leland Hager. Marissa Catherine Halsey. Cyril Hansen Corti, cum laude. Nicole Marie Harbison. Bridget Hayes.
Yes, Bridget! Woo!
Kayla Marie Heater. Christian Hernandez. Eric Hernandez. Irving Hernandez. Melissa A. Hernandez. Sebastian Douglas Hernandez. Freddie Hernandez Alvarado. Riley James Kors Hess, cum laude. Alec J. Higgs. Lydia Jade Hill. Dakota J. Hillier. Catherine Elizabeth Hinman. Daniel Hinsky, summa cum laude. Elizabeth Ann Hippen, cum laude. Zachary P. Hoekstra. Brian Kelly Hoel. Morgan Ray Holly, cum laude. Nate Gregory Hopper. Michael Horeth, cum laude. Celine Ariel Hoons. Galen Elizabeth Hughes. Kirsten Clytie Nichelle Hume. Kiva Marie Hirsch. Carly Marie Interiel. Jerome R. Ivy. Alexandra Stephanie Izquierdo. Jessica T. Jablonski. Keely Jackson. Kathleen J. Jenkins. Kara Lorraine Jensen. Daniel C. Johnson. Austin D. Jones, cum laude. Christian Taylor Jones. Daniel T. Jones. Jamar Q. Jones. Taylor Vaughn Jones. Tessa Lee Jones. William Jones. Cynthia Sanyan Engi Kamarigi. Mohammed Canber. Lena Karjala. Amjad Karkut. Stephanie Kiefer. Courtney Elise Kent. E. Kine. Austin Michael King. Sean Michael Klink, magna cum laude. Ned David Kneller. Isabella Aubrey Kosire. Jana Nicole Kozlowski. Kaylee E. Kurtz, cum laude. Amanda Caroline Landry. Amy Elise Lawrence, summa cum laude. Alexi Leanne Licata, summa cum laude. Emily Ann Livesay, magna cum laude. Luke Virgil Long. Mary Kathleen Luzzo, cum laude. Maria Magallon. Emily E. Manasseh. Victor F. Martinez. Stephen May. Thomas R. McCoy. Courtney Elizabeth McGehee, cum laude. Melina Medley. Tyler R. Meldrum. Lilibeth Mendez. Sarah Nicole Merodio. Bethany Jane Meyer. Rebecca Sue Mills, magna cum laude. Sarah Jane Mills, cum laude. Mallory Elaine Meisner. Malik Levon Mitchell. Farida Mohammed, magna cum laude. Shining Moo. Logan M. Moothart. Joel Mata. Matthew William Mullen. Abigail Marcia Murray. Grant C. Myers. Michelle Lynn Nafziger, cum laude. Pedro A. Navarro. Madeline Ray Neal, summa cum laude. Nathaniel C. Null. Sarah Neissether. Connor Patrick O'Keefe. Tira Brianne Oakes. Claire Lachlan Ogilvie. Mackenzie Marie Olson, cum laude. Haley Marie Osborne, cum laude. Carla Guadalupe Ashima. Brittany Morgan Parkins. Cooper J. Pauley. Sean Alexander Paulsgrove. Arasim Perdomo. Lydia R. Perellis. Brian W. Faw. Emma Pearson Wenzel. Elizabeth Jenna Catherine Platt. Joanna Veronica Podesek, cum laude. Christian Ponce del Angel. Christopher Noah Poston. Luke Allen Pratt, cum laude. Rachel Rose Purcell. Eric J. Ramirez. Bridget Nicole Rahill. Rebecca Reading. Fisher Hugh Reed. Dakota Riley. Carlin Reinig, cum laude. Hannah Mary Riley, summa cum laude. Caitlin M. Robertson, summa cum laude. Tia D. Robertson. Reagan Ross. Diana J. Rubi Galindo, cum laude. Stephanie Ann Say, summa cum laude. Sammy Moniz. Diana Salamanca. Easton Michael Shaber. Madison Nicole Schulenberg, magna cum laude. Kyle P. Schultz, cum laude. Chelsea Laurel Shuck. Casey Ann Schutte, cum laude. Justin T. Seeley. Elias C. Shamus. William L. Shaw. Emily J. Sheets, summa cum laude. Bryson N. Shepard. Shay Allen Sievers. William G. Sladen. Sophia Pearl Slocum, magna cum laude. Meekum Stephen Smith. John H. Stanford. Adam John Stenzel. Asa J. Stevenson.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you.
Benjamin C. Stillwell. Chase A. Stroud. Joshua Ryan Sweatman. Alana Marie Temple. Sagar Thapa. Logan Allen Thiele. Danny Joanne Thurston. Allison Sue Todd. Xavier Anthony Torres. Jasmine Marie Townsend. Rachel Lynn Unger. Jamie Ray Maxine Valdivia. Jesus Valenciana. Michaela Valenzuela, cum laude. Brett M. Van Zee. Zachary Van Wassenhove. Katrina Marie Vroman. Nyung Vu, cum laude. Caitlin Rose Walker. Landon Ray Walker. Emily Elizabeth Weedman. Sabastina Ajimeng Wiafa. Ashley Marie Wickenhauser. Yonsei Williams. Isaac Willis, summa cum laude. Haley Lynn Willits, cum laude. Yazar Tay Win. Ashley Nicole Winters, summa cum laude. Amy Olivia Wallenberg. Dylan Matthew Wong, cum laude. Akboda Yergaliva, magna cum laude. Brandy Jamila Yoder, cum laude. Elizabeth Zendejas. I ask the Monmouth class of 2018 to stand so we can recognize you. Please be seated. I now welcome Farida Mohammed, the president of the class of 2018, to offer a farewell to the college on behalf of the graduating seniors.
It's like a dream come true.
Thank you, Dean Timmerman. Good afternoon to all who came here to show their love and support today. And the reason for today's celebration, our very own outstanding class of 2018. I am very humbled for the privilege to speak here on behalf of my class. This journey has not been an easy one for me. From the moment I decided to leave my comfort zone on this adventure, I was ready for anything that life brought my way. However, I have had my fair shares of ups and downs. There were days when I wanted to give up, but I remembered where I came from. Giving up was not an option. There were times when the thought of having my family around felt good, but they were many miles away. We have all been there, and now that we think of it, we are so glad we made it. This is the place we have called home, in the middle of the cornfields with the sounds of the bagpipes playing in the background. We made it through all the good and bad times, and this is why I congratulate everyone here, because we have been an exceptional class. I'm from Ghana, thousands of miles away in West Africa. I did not grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth, but somehow I found myself at Monmouth College. I always asked myself if I was ever going to fit in. There were days when I sat in my room and cried, but whenever I thought of my parents, I knew there was a reason for me to push through. I'm the first and only daughter, which meant my younger siblings were looking up to me as a role model. This put a lot of pressure on me as I felt there was no room to fail. I was very fortunate to have an advisor, Dr. Wendon Bolin, who supported and pushed me because she saw something in me that I never thought I had. However, one thing she constantly reminded me of was the fact that anything you put your mind to, you could achieve it. This reminder kept me moving in the right direction because I knew messing up meant I was letting so many people who believed in me down. I recently heard a keynote speech by the Vice President of Student Life, Laura Hutchinson. She spoke about the danger of a single story. A TED Talk by my favorite female Nigerian writer, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. This resonated with me as I had a much more closed opinion about the bigger world in which we live. She explains how a one-sided story can prevent us from being willing to learn about others. When we hear only a single story about another person, we risk a critical understanding of who they are. This is why I am grateful to find myself in a place where the people are open to learning and understanding the cultures of others. I also took the time to ask so many questions because it is only right to know about the community that you find yourself in. I have challenged myself to be a part of other people's stories. This is why I am proud to call myself the definition of what it means to attend a liberal arts college. I have been able to study in my home country, Ghana, at the University of Ghana, and in Shanghai, China, at the East China Normal University, also known as Huashida in Chinese. I have been involved in several independent studies, research, residence life, and leadership programs. To some people, it is a normal thing. However, for a minority Ghanaian woman, this means a lot to me. I have been reflecting a lot on the opportunities that have been made possible because I was given a chance by several mentors. Someone thought I could be one of the many who could make a difference in the lives of others. I was not judged based on the stories they had stereotyped about minority Black women. Class of 2018, I commend you all. If someone ever said you were never going to make it this far in life, this is your turn to tell and show them your transcripts with all the courses you have completed. the list of every organization you have been a part of, how your sororities have raised funds to fight for a cause, how you supported the Scots Day of Giving to exhibit the culture of philanthropy, how you showed your school spirit and screamed at every game until your men's basketball team made it to the NCAA after 28 years. How hard you had to think through it many times before finally declaring a major, and how well we have worked as a team irrespective of our different backgrounds. We have been a part of a generation that strived for change and made sure our voices were always heard. For every individual who made this possible, thank you for helping us through this journey. Thank you for giving us a shoulder to lean on when things got hard, and thank you for never giving up on us. This college thing has been real. We lost friends, made new ones, explored our identities, learned to multitask, prioritize, be independent, become a team player, were depressed, anxious, broken at one point, and wondered if being at Monmouth College was even worth it. If we find ourselves here today, it means that something worked out for us, and this is why we made it this far. This is the day the Lord has made. Rejoice and be glad in it. Throughout this time of exploration and inquiry, these are the things that helped me get by. Be adventurous, do something different, like get a passport and go to a new place where you can challenge yourself to try new things. Mind what you post on social media, they're watching you. Choose your friends, make them your strong ties. However, interact with others out of your circle. They are your weak ties. They know the people you don't know and will help you get your foot in the door. Smile always, it makes you look healthier. Respect everyone you come across. It is the right thing to do, and you never know who you will need help from in the future. Always remember to use please and thank you. They make someone's day. Attaining this degree affirms your knowledge, but your critical thinking skills and hard work will prove you worthy in the outside world. This is just the commencement of another step in our lives. It is okay if you need time to figure out where you want to apply for jobs, whether you want to move out of state or the country, whether you want to go on to grad school or even start your own business. These decisions may happen quickly for some and take time for others to finally determine their true vocation. However, I know we'll find the right connections, resources, and access to the things that will help us find our feet. A popular African proverb says, "It takes a village to raise a child." I would like to thank everyone at Monmouth College for making my journey worthwhile. To my dad for making sure I never lacked anything while I was away from home. My sister, Dr. Sandra Safo, for making my college dream a reality. My advisor for the constant motivation. My family and friends from in and out of state. My 3 close college friends who have become sisters. My aunties for playing the role of mom all through these 4 years. The senior class gift committee. My fellow strong female student leaders for raising the bar high, always. To my parents for flying all the way from Ghana to be a part of this celebration. This is the first time in 4 years I get to wish my mom a happy Mother's Day in person. Thank you, Auntie Christy. Your prayers and support have brought me this far. Your advice has kept me in the right direction and opened several doors for me. Thank you for teaching me to smile, no matter how tough life becomes. You are my best friend, and I'll always make you proud. Happy Mother's Day to every mom here, to every woman that has made a difference in the lives of others. You are celebrated today and every other day. I'll end the speech with a quote by Oprah Winfrey. It doesn't matter who you are or where you are from. The ability to triumph begins with you, always. Thank you and congratulations once again.
To the graduates, I'd like you to close your eyes for a few moments as we think back across your years at Monmouth. Think back to your first day on campus. Think about the best of your many best days. Think about that hardest day and how you made it through. Think about those people who will be your friends for life. Think about that person you had to work hardest to like. Think about your toughest defeat. Think about your greatest triumph. Think about those people who had the greatest impact on you. Think about those people whose lives you have made a little better. Be sure to come back to campus. Come back often. No matter where you go, this will always be home. And to this special class who came in with Laureate and me, we're proud of you. We love you. And from Laureate and me, we wish that you will keep the spirit of these days forever. That you will be forever young.
Straight from the hearts of everyone who here has college life begun, come sounding through the balmy air this fervent wish, this heartfelt prayer. Oh God, thy blessing we implore on Monmouth College evermore. May all our efforts ever be to honor thee. Sturdy the band of pioneers who planted for the coming years. Sturdy the ones who here are met to reach the goals therefore they're set. Oh God, thy blessing we implore on Monmouth College evermore. May all our efforts ever be to honor thee. Loyal to God and native land, for Monmouth College we will stand. Stand for the college ever dear, and for the rights we all revere. Oh God, our blessing we implore on Monmouth College evermore. May all our efforts ever be to honor thee.
Now, as you leave these halls of academia and venture out into this new and magnificent day, may the love of God enfold you May the grace of God uphold you. May the power of God set you free to love and to serve all of God's people. Amen.